Containers in finance aren't new. Terminals have been around forever. You also have bank portals. These technologies have been around to solve that critical install problem, new technologies onto the desktop as quickly as possible. We as an industry have literally tried everything to get technologies moving onto the desktop quickly, to shorten our deployment cycles. Going back to the early 2000s, Java Web Start with all of its heavy client problems, Citrix with its usability, Adobe Air with security problems, all the way through to Silverlight, which some of us started to use. But it's all about getting outside the browser, right? Getting native technologies onto the desktop, native feeling applications onto the desktop, getting them there quickly and getting them there so our users can use our applications. So here we are with HTML5. It's the panacea, right? It's cross-platform. It's broadly supported across the vendor ecosystem. You know, whether you're talking about Google, Microsoft, Adobe even. Everyone says, okay, HTML5, that's it. But oh my God, really? I'm supposed to run this in a browser? I just spent all this time working so hard to get out of a browser, and now I'm supposed to go back into a browser. I can't do it. I've got browser compatibility issues. Microsoft has 2 browsers. It's terrible. We've got this clunky user experience inside the browser. Again, just makes it totally not acceptable for trading applications. And then I've made massive investments in .NET, Java. I've got a $100 million Air application that's on 10,000 client desktops. We can't walk away from this stuff. We need to be able to migrate, right? We need to integrate with our legacy applications and move forward to the HTML5 world. So HTML5 containers is the answer to this. So I'm going to get my HTML5 running outside of the browser with native user experience. So maybe I take Ceph and I stick it into my WPF application. I start building new functionality in HTML5. Maybe I'm lucky and I'm doing greenfield development, like Stefan. I get to choose, hey, Electron. Electron is it. I'm going to build my thing on top of Node, and I'm going to be native on the desktop. But all these things have some real challenges when you're talking about finance use cases. We've recently re-architected onto Electron. One of the things that we figured out in that process is that Electron is a true node-first environment that was designed to be a code editor. That's what Electron powers. Electron powers a code editor. Microsoft has used Electron really effectively for Visual Studio Code. It's an awesome product. When you try to do trading applications in Electron, though, these are some of the things that we've found are real issues. Security, there's no sandbox in the Electron world. So you're running downloaded code unsandboxed on a trader's desktop. Performance, you don't have access to manage your memory footprint on the desktop. Networking, there's 2 independent network stacks that live in the Electron world, one for Node, one for the content side. Bringing those together is not easy work. None of this stuff is easy work. Electron itself is a native application. You've got to get it onto someone's desktop. You've got to keep updating it. Interoperability with Excel and existing applications on the desktop, also big problems, right? So it's this collection of stuff. And then when you DIY on top of Electron, you've got to support it. Code that I wrote in the late 90s at UBS is still in production today, right? That's a long time. So if you're going to build something, you've got to be able to support it for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. We think that this trend towards HTML5 actually has legs where this stuff won't be viewed as legacy in 5 years. We've already gotten some very kind words, but I'd be remiss if I didn't throw an OpenFINJS slide in here to talk a little bit about what we do, right? And whether it is getting the security sandbox turned back on, whether it's having an asynchronous message protocol so that your trade orders don't get delayed behind market orders, market data, or you really do need that native windowing experience, the tearouts, the composable desktop user experience, the rich workspace that traders in the front office are used to, that's really where we let you not have to DIY on top of Electron or Ceph. So where are we going? And I already touched a little bit on this. HTML as a technology feels like it's here to stay. I think it's the first time that multiple industries have really coalesced around a UI technology that doesn't belong to anyone, right? Even Java kind of felt that way in the early 2000s, but it turned out to not be that. As we move forward with HTML6, the support is going to stay there. And when we think about changes that are coming to the ecosystem, right now, Chromium is the only game in town for a rendering engine. It's not the only game in town when it comes to the V8 engine, the actual JavaScript engine. As the ecosystem evolves, making sure that you can change out the different componentry that you're relying on becomes more and more important. We, with our own software, have built an abstraction layer so that we can swap in Edge plus Chakra. It really could be anything under there. We're very excited about where the HTML5 ecosystem is going, very excited about native web applications on the desktop, and really excited about JavaScript in finance.